live stream no varundu.
They have
Hi,
plenty.
live. Hello.
Hi,
Hello, everybody.
Hello, everybody. Good evening.
good evening.
Okay, let me quickly introduce everybody who is here. I'll start with Dhanalakshmi, who is our coordinator.
Hi, hello.
And we have Vidya Krishnan and we have Chitra Srivatsan. Both of them amazing members of Parivartan. I have known them now for more than 3 or 4 years now, close to. Both of them started their journeys with Parkinson's at a very young age. In fact, we can classify both of them as young onset Parkinson's. Um, they both are working professional, or at least were working professionals when they were diagnosed with PD. Gradually in the disorder, both of them realized they needed deep brain stimulation. They have successfully undergone the surgery, different hospitals, different doctors. They're leading good quality of life now, very full and fulfilling lives as mothers, as wives. So we would like to share with them today their journey. We are very, very excited to have both of you. Welcome to this Sunday evening. So happy to see you. I mean, I see you almost online most weeks. So this is really special to see you online. Thank you so much. We'll start with why don't you both introduce a little bit about each other? I will let me spotlight both of you. Yeah, Vidya madam, why don't you start? Share a little bit about yourself.
I was diagnosed with having Parkinson's when I was just 40. So it was called young onset Parkinson's. My symptoms were tremors and a lot of stiffness as well. By the time it was diagnosed, it's certain, and it was really very, very inconvenient. So I didn't know what to do, actually. And finally, I went to a doctor who diagnosed it as this. And I was given medicines which caused a lot of dyskinesia, Syndopa plus. So because of that, I had to finally think of deep brain stimulation as an option.
Okay, madam, I'll ask you, Vidya madam, just specifically, what age were you in when you're diagnosed with Parkinson's?
When I was diagnosed, I was 40, but at 38 itself, I had fine tremors. I went to the doctors myself asking because I was a little worried, and they just said it was action tremor and let me be. So over the next 2 years, it increased a little more. Those fine tremors became tremors at rest, and then stiffness. So, and it was quite difficult cooking and all that. And the final thing that made me really rush to the doctor was the fact that I couldn't turn a carrot in my hand and peel it at the same time. So that there was no synchronization with coordination or synchronization with, between the two hands.
So this was, you couldn't cut this carrot, you're saying, before DBS or when you're diagnosed with PD?
No, before DBS.
Before DBS, okay. So no, even before we get to DBS, I just want to elaborate a little bit on what Vidya madam is saying. So you're saying at 38, you had tremors in your hands.
Fine tremor.
Fine tremors. And the doctor said they are action tremors. So there are two kinds of tremors in Parkinson's, for those who don't know. One is action and one is resting tremors. So in action tremor, what generally happens is if you're holding an object, if you're having a motion in your hand, and then there is a tremor, that's an action tremor. But the tremor in PD is a bit different, because even when you're resting your hand, say on your lap or anywhere, there is a tremor. That's a resting tremor. And that's one of the early signs of Parkinson's. So doctors apparently thought madam had action tremor, and then she had to wait for 2 years, and then they diagnosed her with PD, and that's a very, very young age. 38 is not an age to be recognized with Parkinson's. And by 40, she got her diagnosis. What age were you, madam, when you got your DBS done?
46.
46. So 6 years technically, but in fact, it is 8 years, I would say, since the first symptoms started manifesting. Had her DBS done, and Vidya madam is saying she could not cut her carrot and she could not hold it, peel it. And that was like a wake-up call, and she thought, okay, I need to go and get something done. So we'll discuss more on DBS. Now I'll go to Vidya madam. Hi madam, why don't you tell us a little bit about your early stages when you were diagnosed with PD?
I think you meant Chitra.
Oh, I said Chitra, madam. Yeah, sorry.
Hmm?
Yes, சொல்லுங்க, madam. Your early stages with Parkinson's, when were you diagnosed? What were you doing?
I retired as divisional engineer from BSNL. Actually, I got the Parkinson at the age of 42. First, I didn't notice the tremor myself, in fact. I had pain in the neck and shoulder, first symptom. That time, everybody asked me to go to an orthopedic surgeon. And so he was giving that injection, and then, but it made me better for some two months or so. Again, that pain started coming. At that time only, we realized that it must be something else. So they came to Apollo here in Chennai. There I showed first to this general physician, and he recommended me to see a neurologist in Apollo. And he only gave, just he saw me, that's all. Parkinson, அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டாரு ஒரே வரியில. So by 40, when I was in 40s, 42, the PD started. And then about, I was all right only till 2010 or so. At that time, before that, I used to do everything, even though I was diagnosed with Parkinson. I rode my two-wheeler. I went everywhere. No, my husband will not accompany anywhere that time.
Yeah. So, madam, when you said you were 42 when you're diagnosed with Parkinson's, were you still working that time?
At Parkinson, I worked for nearly 15 years.
You worked for another 15 years after you were diagnosed with Parkinson's. That's amazing. So, madam, you were an engineer at BSNL.
Yes.
Electrical engineer.
Yes, ma'am.
So great. What was your position when you were diagnosed with Parkinson's?
Subdivisional engineer.
Subdivisional engineer. Great. So nice to hear this. So, madam was active for 15 years after she was diagnosed with Parkinson's. She was saying she was very independent, working, riding her two-wheeler, of course, taking care of the house. She has a young son. At least she was young, much younger then. So a lot of care was needed then. So very active lives. Vidya, madam, what were you doing when you were diagnosed with Parkinson's?
The teacher.
You were a teacher. You're teaching what?
I was teaching French, which is a foreign language, and I was in a school. I used to do a couple of part-time jobs. I had already decided much before Parkinson's that I would do it part-time, and French allows you to work part-time.
Yes.
So I used to do full-time part-time. That means a couple of places part-time, which used to keep me busy almost till about 3 o'clock. And that was my profession.
So you were a teacher and you were an engineer when this whole thing happened. So let us start. I'll continue with Chitra madam for a while. So you said for 15 years after your PD diagnosis, you were working. At what age did you retire, madam?
I had 5 years of service. 55.
55. What made you retire though? Was it Parkinson's because of which you thought you should retire?
Actually, I felt that because of my work, it is aggravating. So I was in charge of the whole of Neyveli division. It was very difficult for me to control everybody.
So
I used to become very tense. Shout at my subordinates and all that.
Yeah, because this disorder doesn't let you to function the way you would like to function. So in turn, I think there will be a lot of stress and anxiety. So you decided to take retirement 5 years before.
Because due to heavy competition in private sector with public sector, that time Reliance was there, Tata was there. Everybody, we will first suppose dug the deep trench and put the OFC cable. come behind and cut it.
Oh my God, that is really stressful.
Madam, the phone is not working. So I became very tense. So it was, the stress was too much for me. I thought myself and Srivatsan thought so. So after my son got married, I resigned.
Okay. Some responsibility was over at home. And also, of course, work was getting stressful. So you retired early, 5 years early before your service allowed. So something that I want people watching this to keep in mind, that both Vidya Madam and Chitra Madam had PD at a very prime, at a young age. This is very unusual in PD because it affects more men. And here we have two wonderful women. And two, it affects people who are older, 65 or 70. And here they were in their 30s and 40s when they were diagnosed with PD, in literally their prime, in terms of they were taking care of house and professionally. And that's when this whole problem was diagnosed. Now let us move on a little bit about DBS, since that is the focus for today, because DBS is often misunderstood, or there is a lot of questions around it, even if it is not misunderstood. So Vidya Madam just said that 6 years, 8 years, so 6 years after diagnosis of PD, she was finding it very difficult to cut carrot. And she thought, oh my God, this needs to be addressed. And you went to the doctor. Can you tell a little more, madam, as to what happened? What did the doctor say?
Doctor, actually, it was in 2002, as soon as it was diagnosed, that I started going to a doctor in Chennai. I was in Hyderabad then. So I used to make these trips to Chennai. The doctor gave me some medicines and these things developed, and I had to leave teaching. I had a tough time cooking, and I have two boys. So managing the household was quite a tough job. Eventually, I decided to go to a Hyderabad doctor who suggested, Dr. Rupam to be precise, he suggested I should go through with DBS. And I thought DBS was it looked like a nightmare with holes in the head and all that. But I did go through, and I felt much better. Maybe, in fact, it was after DBS that I took up a job again, a full-time job as a teacher in a school. So I felt better than before.
Better than before. DBS was better than before. Yeah. So I want to go a little bit more in detail, Vidya Madam, about your DBS, and then I'll move to Chitra Madam. So
my DBS was, for me, sort of a miracle. Like the doctor told me that it would improve my quality of life. I was quite apprehensive. My father-in-law advised me to go for it, saying that Parkinsons, everything about it being a degenerative disease and all that, and I would be worse off without it. So I went through the thing, and then immediately after the surgery itself, I could see the difference. Earlier, I couldn't hold a fork or a spoon with my left hand. I just couldn't. The left hand wouldn't do a thing. So after the DBS, as soon as the surgery was over, I was able to eat with my left hand. My husband was really surprised because it was after 3 or 4 years that he was seeing me using my left hand comfortably. So for me, it was quite a drastic improvement.
Wow.
I mean, wonderful improvement, I should say.
Yeah. In fact, you're saying that you took up a full-time job after.
Yeah.
Okay. And quality of life dramatically improved. And your father-in-law was the one who convinced you to go for the surgery. That's excellent, madam. That's really great to hear. Chitra, madam, can you tell us what was the point? Like how Vidya madam was saying, okay, this is the time I realized, oh my God, I can't continue the way I am. What was it for you that made you go for the surgery?
First, I was a little afraid, madam. Because everybody generally goes in, நல்லா இருக்கீங்களே இப்போ ஏன்னா உங்களுக்கு திரும்பி பிரெயின் ஆப்ரேட் பண்ணி நாளைக்கு இதை விட உங்களுக்கு இதுவாயிடுச்சுன்னா என்ன செய்வீங்க? Like that, so many people advising me against DBS only. And I was also I didn't know actually about DBS at all, in fact. So, but meanwhile, my husband was asking me, telling me, no, you should get operated, and she was telling. But after resigning also, this disease progression was getting on. So that time I thought, okay, இது வந்து வெறும் டேப்லெட்ஸ் ஷார்ட் சரி பண்ணிக்க முடியாது அப்படிங்கறது I realized. So I must say my husband was a great support to me. He was the one who guided me. பயப்படாத என்ன பயம் அப்படின்பாங்க.
But I want to ask you, Chitra madam. So you were saying your husband supported you and people were scaring you and all that. But physically, what was your state when you went for DBS? Like, were you able to do something, not able to do something? What propelled you to go to DBS surgery?
I was convinced that only this is the maximum advantage route is only DBS.
Yeah.
Doctors, and after that, first I was trying actually one medicine called apomorphine. I did not, because I didn't want the operation. I wanted to wear that belt or something like that. Apomorphine will continuously pump into the bloodstream. For that, they said it will work very well in Europe and all, and it doesn't require operation. I wanted to try that first. So that pump was not working here. Then only it was introduced, I think. And அதை பத்தி ஒண்ணுமே இன்ஃபர்மேஷனே தெரியல actually. And I got apomorphine injection every day, twice, like that. And that time I was more sick than becoming than this PD was when I was first entered into my PD. This apomorphine is worse, more than that. Only for 1 or 2 hours it will work, ma'am. அதுக்குள்ள போய் கிடுகிடு நான் குளிச்சுட்டு எல்லாம் பண்றேன். After 2 hours, that's all. Be in bed, that all. You can't get up also.
How long? 1 month. Oh, okay. There is something wrong with your audio, madam. Suddenly I can hear a background noise as if somebody is having like a mixie or something on in the house. But that's okay. We will see how it goes. So madam is saying she tried. In fact, I know personally for a fact that madam had some movement difficulty. Like there was some difficulty in walking. That's why they were considering very actively for what other therapies can be done other than just the medicines for Parkinson's. And one of the neurologists suggested apomorphine. There is no pump available, but they would take the injection. Madam is saying she would take the injection and then for 1 hour she'll be all right, and then that's it. Then there's absolutely no movement. It was much difficult after apomorphine than before. And you did it for 1 month, madam. My God.
Yes.
And then you went to because they didn't want to do DBS. They were like, let's not do the surgical procedure. Let's do something else, so which will be safer or easier. And none of it worked. And then did you go for DBS? Is that how you went?
Yes, that's what I wanted to.
Okay. My goodness. You tell us, how has it been after DBS for you?
For me, it was quite okay, madam. I wouldn't say it is magic and all that, but it is definitely successful for me.
Definitely successful. It is not very radically different. I think what happened is you had a great quality of life for a long time, then suddenly it dipped. And then now after DBS, it has almost gone back to what it was before all that confusion happened before DBS. So Vidya madam, how long has it been since your DBS?
2008 to now.
Oh, you got it done in 2008.
Yeah. 13 years.
13 years almost.
I've had one battery replacement and I'm due for the next.
Oh, you're due for the next. So yours is not rechargeable battery, madam?
No, the one that I have now is not a rechargeable. Okay. I'm planning to go in for a rechargeable.
Okay. So is rechargeable battery more expensive than non-rechargeable?
Yes, it is.
It is more expensive. Okay. Vidya madam, sorry, Chitra madam, how long has it been since you got your DBS done?
Yes, madam.
2 years.
2 years.
So there's a vast difference. One person has had it for like almost like 12, 13 years, and you've had it for 2 years. Um, Chitra madam, what is your age now?
I'm 16, madam.
60.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's the thing. So I think Vidya madam got her DBS done much earlier in age wise, like when she was like 46, 47. But you got it done literally after like 10 years like later, because I think your PD progression was much slower, or whatever reason. PD affects different people in a very, very different ways. So it also matters in what age you get your DBS done. So can we also, there have been some questions. So maybe you can tell us how much it cost, both of you. You don't have to tell us the doctor names or hospitals, because then it'll become like we are propagating or advocating for some doctor here, which is not what we are. A disclaimer that we are not. We are just sharing some experience of DBS. So Chitra madam, is your battery rechargeable battery?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Yes.
because rechargeable battery is also expensive. How much was your total expense?
Total hospital bill was around 14 lakhs.
14.
13 point something.
Okay.
14 lakhs.
14 lakhs, yeah. So it's not a simple or a cheap procedure. It is fairly expensive, and not everybody is eligible for it. Vidya madam, how much was it for you?
I spent, my family spent about 6.5. The
Ah,
first time I had the surgery,
okay.
and yeah, and now it's going to be about 7.5 for the battery alone.
For battery alone, it'll be seven.
Yeah, that's because it's rechargeable.
Oh my God. I think it's mostly the battery charge.
Yeah.
Oh, good Lord. Okay. More than the surgery procedure or for the hospitalization, it is just the cost of the battery.
Yeah.
So from non-rechargeable to rechargeable, when you're changing, your expense is coming up to 7 lakhs.
Yeah.
Ah, okay. Now both
I
of
must, yes, I must tell you one more thing.
uh-huh.
Here, the doctor advises you a DBS by telling you to go and see patients who've undergone DBS. So before I got my DBS done, I met quite a few people who had undergone DBS already and were doing reasonably well. So that was one more motivation why I went through it.
Exactly. I think even for our own members or people who are watching this or in the future, it will be good for people to talk to you both, like people like both of you who have undergone it before, to get a fair idea of what it involves. I also want to ask the both of you, maybe I'll start with Chitra madam. Is there something that you expected from DBS that didn't happen?
I had no expectations, ma'am.
Okay.
Really, that pain was dominating everything. I just wanted to get rid of that pain somehow.
Okay.
So I didn't actually, but they also said don't have very much great expectations. And you will get all right, but it will be a 50% of the medicines குறைஞ்சிடுமா நான் எழுந்து ஓடுவேனா நடப்பேனா அப்படின்லாம் for a patient it is different for every patient. One patient will be completely bedridden. After DBS, they will be able to get up and just stand. That itself was a so much achievement felt. Like that, one woman was telling me. So I did have great expectations, but at the same time, it was actually more than expected.
So
I could not hear you, madam. Yes, ma'am. What's the question?
இப்ப கேக்குதாம்மா? Now I think you can hear me. The disturbance, suddenly it comes and goes. Maybe it's in your computer. You were saying you had a lot of body pain. Did that reduce substantially or not after DBS?
There was no pain, madam. The operation table completely tremorless.
Yeah, that is true. No, but you said there was a lot of pain before. Did that reduce after DBS?
Yes, madam.
It did. It did. Okay. Okay. Good to know. Vidya madam, why don't you tell us? Was there something that you were looking forward that this will improve after DBS, but
I was looking forward to my dyskinesia going. And for the first 2 years, there was no dyskinesia. I was really happy about that. That was quite a, gift, I should say. But after that, dyskinesia came back slowly, but I'm still manageable.
okay. Do you want to tell people watching what is dyskinesia?
Yeah, it's the involuntary movements like I'm having now a little bit.
Yeah.
That's it. But pre-DBS, it was terrible. I used to be almost, I used to write. I wouldn't be able to hold a telephone in my hand and go out. I used to clench my hands. It was terrible. So considering all that, it was absolutely, it had gone. So for the first 2 years, it was absolutely normal. Slowly it set in, but then I was older and more mature and read more about Parkinson's and decided that I was better off, at least with the DBS, which would keep me alive. That was important. So in this case, you have to be positive and help yourself as much as you can.
Right.
Of course, the doctors help you, but you have to help yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
Exercise and all that.
Yeah. So tell me, both of you, Vidya madam, since you're talking, how is your exercise regime? Are you exercising regularly?
Yeah, I exercise regularly. I spend either 20 minutes on the cross trainer or go for a run. Then I do some yoga exercises. And I've started doing exercise, kind of yoga, the Pilates or something.
Pilates or
Yeah. So balancing exercises. I've tried my hand at dancing, tried everything. I don't keep still. There's one thing, I don't keep still. I keep doing something or the other. I cook at home. There's nothing I've given up. I've gone whitewater rafting.
Oh,
mountain climbing. Everything.
Oh, nice. Whitewater rafting, mountain climbing. Very, very active, very motivating. Very nice. How about you, Chitra madam? How is your exercise regime?
It's morning Lakshmi's yoga practice. That I do one fully. And then stationary exercise cycle I will do for 15 minutes. And, that's all in the morning. Evening I will do balance exercise and smoother.
That's very nice. Okay. So both of you, you're saying,
First, I must thank you, madam. I must thank you for having me an inspiration.
Yeah, madam. This talk is about both of you, not about me. No.
I met Vidya. Because I met Vidya only, I went for the...
Oh, okay. Was it? Vidya madam, is it? Oh,
yeah.
Okay. You spoke to her before the DBS, no, madam?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So this is a great information. I almost forgot this. So both of you members and Chitra madam spoke to Vidya madam before DBS, and I think you encouraged her to go for DBS that time, right?
And once there was a meeting in Andhra Naida.
Yes. Our support group meeting, I think both of you met.
I would recommend DBS for anybody whom the doctor has recommended.
Yeah.
I could not walk and I had to be transferred to a wheelchair because it was a hospital. Wheelchair is available.
Right.
And, that was on first floor, I think.
Yes. I remember that day very well. So there was a meeting at Parivartan. Unfortunately, the lift was not working and the meeting was on the first floor. And suddenly Chitra madam couldn't walk. So they had to bring in her on wheelchair. It was really difficult. And I think after that you spoke to Vidya madam, right?
Seeing yourself and maybe on the same day when my DBS was done, it's also very great inspiration, madam.
Good to see you. No. That apart, so this is very important that you mentioned that you spoke to Vidya madam before the DBS and
yes.
it encouraged you to go in for the surgery. So this is what actually helps, I think, to be part of a network where you can talk to one another and motivate each other.
No one can become 100% perfect. But yes, your quality of life definitely improves. You're much better off, and your deterioration also slows down. Because I could see the rapid change in the pre-DBS years and post-DBS years. So it makes a lot of difference.
That is true. That is true. And for each one, DBS works differently. It
Yes.
doesn't work the same for everybody. And not everybody will have the same progression after DBS. Tell me one thing. Did both of your medications reduce after DBS?
Initially, yes. Even now, yes, I take only 1.5 Syndopas a day. So that is, I take more of the agonists. But otherwise, my medication is less, much
Medication.
lesser than pre-DBS when I had to take so much of Syndopa and I would be dancing the whole day.
Exactly. 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 So even after 12 years almost of DBS, your Syndopa level is quite less.
Yeah.
And even before that, if you consider the whole journey with DBS, the medication is less. Hence, the complications or side effects that come with medications also will reduce, which is excellent. How is it for you, Chitra madam? Has your medicines reduced?
Definitely reduced, madam, but not to that extent of 50% or so.
Okay.
Actually, not necessarily so. You may also have other extra tablets. They didn't tell you will be okay and all that.
No, she's right, Raman, because it's a tough thing. You have to balance the medicine and the DBS and your activity and requirements. So that is something which you have to, manage. So I do take other agonists.
Yes,
So
exactly. Other agonists, right? Chitra madam, how much is your Syndopa level?
Syndopa is 2, madam. 2 Syndopa.
Oh, that's still very less.
Paciton 2. Paciton I could not stop at all.
before DBS, I used to take 5 Syndopas.
Oh, you were taking 5 Syndopas before DBS. Okay.
Taking 7.
You were taking 7. And
7. But
wow.
no Paciton at that time. Now it is Syndopa 2, Paciton 2, and Propar XL 1.
Okay, okay. So it's reduced, but it's not like, yeah, it's
Yeah.
reduced quite a bit, but we can't say we can remove the tablets completely. It's reduced to a great extent.
And in between, so many times this has been corrected, madam. Suppose you have one problem, you go to the doctor. He said, he will then tell, no, don't use this, try this.
Yes.
Dr. Chitra Krishnan is a very great doctor, ma'am.
Yeah, he's kind. He's really kind. So he's at MEOT. He's really good.
He will be very kind and knowledgeable. And also, he will open the WhatsApp and
They keep in touch. I think, in fact, for both of you, from what I know, you have very good relations with your doctors. Vidya madam got it done at Nizam's in Hyderabad and you got it done at MEOT. And both of you have good teams where the doctor support is very nice. I think that is very key to any successful DBS to have that relationship with your doctor.
Doctors and NIMS are quite accessible.
They're quite
accessible, yeah, that's important.
Yes, they are.
Because without that, you sometimes feel lost.
Yes.
The trouble with this disease.
Yes, that is true. So what I want to do now, I think we have covered quite a bit about DBS in terms of expense. How were you before? How were you after? What has been your quality of life? And both of you, from what I know now, are active at home. You do the cooking. You both manage the house. I know that your children are not currently living with you, and they are outside India and doing their things. But you, both of you, are very active at home. Is there something specifically that both of you would like to ask each other in terms of the journey and Parkinson's as women, as somebody who's undergone DBS? You both have so much in common.
Yeah. I think we got it almost at the same age.
It's age of Vidya to do the jobs even now, madam. After yes.
Yes, she did it very young, exactly.
So that self confidence is Immense, madam. Astonishing.
Actually, as you say, have faith in God, trust in the doctor, and confidence in your ability, and be positive. That's the result.
Exactly. Very nice. Anything specific you would like to ask each other? Tell me one thing.
Yeah.
I want to still ask you both some things. How difficult or easy is it to manage household chores for the both of you? Who wants to go first? What aspects of the household work do you find easy? What part do you find difficult?
Okay, there was a time when I used to go and complain to the doctor. I said, I can't make chapatis, round chapatis. Okay, I can't make them round, I can't make them thin because I used to make wonderful chapatis. So that was a thing which, I mean, it's a small thing, but yet at that point of time, it looked as if it was something to be addressed. Doesn't really matter now. Because I make, if you can't make chapati, make paratha.
How are your chapatis now, madam?
They're not bad. They're pretty okay.
They're pretty
Yeah, I think you should ask the people who eat them, they're fine with it. So it's okay.
They better be fine with it because you're making it.
I don't think I have any problem in any part of the housework. Everything I
Cutting,
do.
just doing.
Cutting, yeah, everything I do.
You
I'm
do it.
able to cut, peel, grate, all that. Stir, everything. Nothing's a problem.
Nothing is a problem. How is
Fine.
Chitra, madam? How is it for you?
For me, suppose I will sometimes forget that I'm a PD patient. So involved in something, I stand and do something, and afterwards its effect will be seen.
That's the best thing, to forget that you're a PD patient. If you remember that, you're finished.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
And suddenly I will feel very tired, madam, on some days.
Some days you feel very tired. I know. Yeah. But you're able to do everything, madam. Chitra, madam, like cooking, cutting vegetables, managing the house. You're able to manage all of that without much difficulty?
I will do, ma'am.
Huh?
Srivatsan will be doing the.
Your husband is doing some. Lala, that's also better only.
I'm lucky, like I was telling my mother-in-law, my husband isn't very comfortable in the kitchen. So I'm forced to be the.
You're forced to do.
Yeah.
And you like it. And you like
I
it.
like it. So.
Nice. Different situations, but both of you are happy with it. Tell me one more thing. Either before DBS or after DBS, whether related or not, has there been any emotional issues? Like, have you ever felt, has DBS, in fact, I mean, motor symptoms, yes, they reduce. I've also heard in certain cases they've had other psychological issues. Have you both faced any emotional or psychological issues after DBS? Did anything go down? Did anything go up? Both ways.
I'm happier after the DBS, I should say. More interested in myself. And what's it? When I look back, I think maybe there was a kind of depression before the DBS.
I see.
I don't know. That's what my conjecture. I never went to the doctor with that complaint of, emotional imbalance or whatever.
Okay. So I think in retrospect, now when you think back, you feel, oh, before DBS, your state of mind was such that it could have been some sort of depression, is what you feel now.
I do.
Yeah. Okay. How is it for you, Chitra?
Sometimes I used to cry, madam. That my husband doesn't like at all. And he used to tell me, why you want
to is this now recently or even before DBS?
Even before DBS, after DBS, I feel.
You feel you've become more emotional now than before.
Yes.
It could be DBS or maybe it's just PD. I think it'll be hard for anybody to tell that.
PD is a pain.
What, madam?
PD is a pain anyway, but
PD is a pain anyway. True. True, it is. You know, that's the challenge in Parkinson's. You don't know whether it is just Parkinson's. You don't know whether it is DBS, so hence it is happening. You don't know if it is the Parkinson's medications or the Parkinson's itself. I think that, so. Hence, managing any symptoms, manifestation of any symptom, is becoming that much more complex and challenging. I feel with Parkinson's.
And
Again,
DBS, madam, what I felt was nearly my doctor took 1 year to arrive at that settings. So must keep on asking them for that. நம்ம என்ன கரெக்டா சொல்லணும் நம்ம symptoms just the voltage and then frequency, so many parameters are there, madam.
Okay. So you're saying your doctor took like 1 year after the surgery to adjust your frequency and to come to the level where you are comfortable with it, both the medications and the free. So it's a long process. After the surgery, it's not like surgery is done, go home, hi, everything is fine. Because there's a fine tuning of the signals that has to go from the pacemaker to your electrodes. So that fine tuning took 1 year is what you're saying. So you have to give the feedback to the doctor appropriately, correctly. Okay. How was it for you, Vidya, madam?
I was the 55th patient in Assam.
Sorry.
So that time, 2008, it wasn't so developed. So I had to depend only on the doctor and had to be very alert about my, the reactions and all that, report them to the doctor so that he would take the necessary steps. So that's what he did. I must have made his life tough, going on asking questions. Oh my God, I'm not someone who won't ask questions. So I would ask him, why this, why that, and numerous things. Patiently, he has told me. So yes, he would do the same thing, tweak it a little bit, tell me, get back to me after some time, and then, change the medicine or something like that. It's a question of trial and error because you really don't know.
Yeah, it's a question of trial and error and also a collaboration between both you and the doctor. It's not just the doctor, I think based on the feedback, both of you are saying the same thing. Based on the feedback, the appropriate feedback you are giving them is when they will be able to help you better. Correct. And you have to be very watchful about how you're feeling.
Yes.
That's very
once might change only one medicine, but that itself sometimes it be
exactly. I want to talk about something fun. So what do you both do to enjoy? I know you are busy with your housework and other obligations and working out and keeping yourself healthy, taking your medications on time. What do you do for fun? What gives you enjoyment to both of you?
Gives me enjoyment is going out.
Going out?
Yeah. Talking to kids. I love young company. Students. I read. That's it.
Are you able to do all of this now?
Reading and going out.
Going out, COVID, not possible.
Yeah, not possible. COVID has put a damper on everything. But yes, reading I'm able to do. And otherwise I'm on the net browsing something.
What about you, Chitra, madam? What are you doing for fun?
I potter in the garden. That's one more thing I do. Yeah, I grow bonsai plants.
Oh, you grow bonsai plants. Oh, yeah. That's excellent.
Reading books, watching TV, then some cooking. goes off. Finished. Because already we are slow cookers.
I love cooking, so I experiment.
Do you both love cooking?
Definitely, ma'am.
Definitely, yeah.
Yes. எனக்கு என் பசங்க டியூட்டர் பண்ணுவாங்க இந்த பேக்கிங்
Yeah.
yeah, so baking bread, baking pizza, all those.
Nice, nice. I'm glad you both enjoy that fact that you're cooking. That's great. So it has been a rather long journey for both of you in terms of Parkinson's itself. I mean, DBS, the time frame differs for both of you. So I'm going to quickly summarize. DBS has helped both of you, but differently. Both of you also did it at a different stages in your Parkinson's journey. And some results are expected, some are unexpected. Medications have reduced. It is an expensive procedure, and it is a collaborative affair after the surgery where you have to like be in contact with your doctor, give them feedback, hence they'll adjust your frequency and medication. You both have had relatively good family support. You both are very active now. Keep yourself engaged. So I think it is very lucky. And I think also I didn't touch upon this, but as I'm talking, I realized not all doctors, in fact, advocate for DBS. Not a lot of them tell it is an option. I feel there are two things that happens, unfortunately, with DBS. One, either they advocate it too much or they don't at all. Either they say, oh, DBS panninga, or they don't mention it at all. And for the member, it's already way too long into the Parkinson's disorder. By the time they realize they could have done DBS much earlier. Do you ever feel that? Have you ever sensed that?
I felt that I should have done earlier now.
Earlier, no? Even I think so, madam. Chitra, like Vidya madam, maybe 5 years before, maybe you could have done. Correct.
That time, I didn't realize it.
Exactly. And doctors aren't forcing you to consider it, no? Did anybody tell you?
Yeah. My sister-in-law was usually telling.
That's not a medical professional, so we don't take them seriously. I don't think we take family members anyway seriously. But your father-in-law was a doctor, so you could not take him seriously.
Practical, we get terrified of what will happen.
Good point, madam. Like on the head, right?
My head has got like craters. So you can see the ups and downs.
You can feel it here, is it?
Yeah, you can feel it.
I'm so glad.
That is much better than having this hidden under the hair is much better than being unable to walk and move and all that.
Yeah. So for those who don't know, there are two electrodes placed in two portions of the brain. So Chitra madam is saying sometimes she's fearful if you hit your head somewhere, whether it shouldn't disturb that inside. Oh yeah, it's a very valid worry. And Vidya madam is saying it's a slight bulge there that one can see because of the hair. It is hidden, so which is also a good thing cosmetically.
Yeah, madam. This battery placing. That is also sometimes disturbing because suddenly sometimes it comes.
Why is it disturbing? Norvati solunga enna agudhu pacemaker la?
பின்னாடி வந்துட்டு காதுக்கு பின்னாடில இருந்து உள்ள டனலைஸ் பண்ணிட்டு இங்க தான் ஓபன் பண்ணி வைக்கிறாங்க அத தெரியுதா உங்களுக்கு?
Not visibly. இந்த வீடியோல தெரியலமா?
தெரியல. இப்ப இந்த இடத்துல தெரியும்.
பாக்குறவாளுக்கு தெரியும். அத முத்து பார்த்தாக்கே
தெரியாது. சம்டைம்ஸ் செயின் மேலயே தெரியல.
Is that sometimes disturbing, madam, for you?
Yes, sometimes it is disturbing.
The pacemaker here, illa? That
can bulging away.
It is actually bulging for you. Okay.
Yeah, that's because I had the old electrodes and a new battery. So the new battery needed an adapter. It's a bit bulkier, and the stitches are formed into a keloid. So
the stitches formed into a keloid. Okay. Do you both ever feel awkward or embarrassed in public when people see that? Or no?
Okay. Not at all. I'm pretty cool about it.
We're cool about it. Okay. This is so great. Okay. Now, my favorite part of, we are going to wrap up now. I mean, this is really great. both of you, can you tell me 2 words each what your life has been with PD and with DBS? In 2 words. What are the 2 words that come to your mind about your own journey with Parkinson's?
Wonderful and fulfilling.
Wonderful and fulfilling. பாசிட்டிவாவே இருக்கணுங்கிறதுல மேடம் நீங்க என்ன வேணா சொல்லலாம்.
It is true. Because I've done things which I wouldn't have done otherwise. And I also more philosophical. Let me give you that also. Because I know I'm not always going to be the, the best frame of physique and stuff like that. But I could. So let's see what the future holds. So to that extent, I'm philosophical.
Yes. Okay. So you're saying you have done a lot of things that you didn't do before. You may not have done if not for PD. Yeah. And you've also become more philosophical after this. Yes. So in a way, you're saying it's because that's why it's wonderful and fulfilling. Nice. Neenga solunga Chitra madam.
I feel great and all that, but still I can never go up to the point where Chitra was working before DBS.
Correct.
That cannot be equalized, madam.
I think you were extraordinarily active when you're working and doing so many things. So you're saying, although the quality of life is good now, although you're able to take care of yourself, you can never be that person. என்ன சொன்னீங்க திருப்பி சொல்லுங்க.
You can never be the same person as you were before DBS, I said.
Yeah. Exactly.
Before PD itself.
Before PD.
Which God has given us. Otherwise, what to say? And also, with so many scientific inventions and all, I think some others will come forward in future more easier and better. Like suddenly they said on the queue or something like that. When you just without operation, you are placing it somewhere in throat, madam.
Exactly.
Shall I tell you one thing? I'm on Facebook today because of PD. No PD and no Vidya on Facebook. As simple as that.
கண்டே பிடிக்கிறதுக்கு முன்னாடி இருக்கிறவா இன்னும் எவ்வளவு கஷ்டப்பட்டுப்பா.
அது கரெக்ட்.
Correct.
அத நினைச்சு நான் எனக்கு நல்ல வாழ்க்கை இப்படி கொடுத்துருக்கேன்னு I have to thank God.
I think both of you are very positive. Chitra madam is also saying at least there's a lot of family support.
There's a lot of
things and you're grateful for what you have right now. Although it is not the same as what you were before PD. And that always, it does feel bad for somebody as active as, from what you were saying, you were traveling a lot, you were so active, you were going, you're managing a team. That was really a very high profile, stressful job at BSNL. And from that, you still have a great quality of life, but it's not the same as what you're saying. And you're grateful for what there is right now.
Yes.
That is amazing attitude with both of you. This is wonderful. So I'm going to stop the live right now. Thank you everybody for listening and joining us on this Sunday evening.